If it's in Hampton Roads, it's on the Hampton Roads Show.
And welcome to the Hampton Roads Show. Our live audience today is from Temple Emmanuel in Virginia Beach. Coming up, we'll get the scoop on some great seasonal happenings offered to everyone.
And on today's I Am Hampton Roads, we'll introduce you to a man who is using his experiences in overcoming obstacles to help coach and motivate others.
And we're celebrating Hampton Restaurant Week. In the kitchen today, Brent Schmidt, owner of Brent's Restaurant, giving us a taste of what's on the menu. Oven roasted rockfish. He's going to make some polenta, some asparagus, a Creole butter. He promised it would be delicious, and we believe him.
He said melt in the mouth.
That's what he said.
Or
I was
maybe
paraphrasing.
I said that. Yeah. Well, can't wait. Hey, so today is International Women's Day. Love and respect to all the ladies, wives, moms, aunts, nieces, grandmothers, sisters, friends, and girlfriends. I think every day should be International Women's Day, but I just have to ask this question. When's Men's Day?
See, some women would say every day.
Every day.
Actually Men's
Every day is Men's Day.
Well, I don't know.
We'll
have to work on that.
Okay.
We'll have to work on
We'll
that.
figure that one out, right?
The idea of a Women's Day is nice, although, we're going there. Women in Virginia may have a hard time, especially when you say love and respect to women. A lot of women feel like they have been disrespected in the Old Dominion because the governor has approved that pre-abortion ultrasound law. We have not yet gone there on the Hampton Roads Show. We haven't talked about it.
Highly controversial.
Of course, and you know, this is the version that has the ultrasound where the wand is moved over a woman's belly, not quite the invasive technique
that they wanted to do at first, the transvaginal.
Right. So they don't do that now, but you know, the belly ultrasound, you still kind of have to lay down, lay still, adjust your clothing. Women would not be forced to see the images. It would be pretty tough to, you know, look away, I think. Now, supporters of the bill say that this actually is about women's rights to know the exact gestational age of the baby before they decide to have an abortion. They would have to wait 24 hours unless they're victims of rape or incest and have reported the attack to police, was one of the conditions. But of course the critics say this is not about women's rights. This is an attempt that to make a woman have a last-minute emotional change of heart and nothing else. So we want to know what you think about this morning. If abortion providers in Virginia do not start complying by July 5th, it is a $25,000 fine per instance of noncompliance.
And it seems to me a woman that wants an abortion is going to get it regardless.
You know, I have my role with WAVY News as a journalist, and that makes it not a good idea for me to speak on my personal views.
Like I just said, it seems as if.
Yes, and we can present both sides, and there are certainly those out there who feel like, you know, this is not an issue that could ever truly go away. It can go back into dangerous places. The darkness, the back alleys, you know, things like that. There are certainly people who definitely feel that way.
You know, this has been highly controversial, and it's been looked at by the nation. It's been mocked by Saturday Night Live. Jon Stewart at The Daily Show has made fun of it as well. And there's a lot of people looking at this, and it seems as if Bob McDonnell and the Republican Congress have made some very controversial moves this year. You know, they changed the gun laws to where, you know, it wasn't one you couldn't buy just one a month. Now you can get as many guns as you'd like. And now this, I mean, they're making some noise in Richmond, and a lot of people aren't happy about it.
And a lot of people are concerned too in the GOP. Is this the year to do it? Is this the year, because it's an election year, to make the Republican Party seem at times like it is, you know, pro-gun, anti-woman, you know, whatever the critics say. But like any of these issues, people need to take the time to educate themselves on the real deal. Because even as fair and balanced as we try to be, there's never a whole lot of time. People hear snippets. They hear the parts that really resonate with them personally. So it's just it's something that, like everything else, you really have to take your time to see what the whole issue is. But the bottom line is, it is now the law in Virginia that a woman seeking an abortion has to have that ultrasound first. Doesn't have to look at it, but has to have it.
I think you can easily see both sides of the argument. I think you can. Whether you agree with it is another thing. So you can see both sides, whatever it is. Highly controversial, and it is now law.
All right.
There it is.
Moving on.
Threw it out
we did
there.
High five. We did a good job with that.
I don't know about that. We'll
Everybody
see.
was a little nervous
We'll
about
see.
bringing that one up.
All right. Well, let's lighten up just a little bit. How about this? You know, we all know that city school boards in Hampton Roads, whether it be Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Hampton are all in trouble financially. Everybody's having to make cuts. Well, Hampton School Board is proposing a real estate tax to help increase and help the budget in Hampton.
Yeah.
So that means every single person who owns real estate will have to pitch in and do their part. The question is, do you agree with that? Should the money come from somewhere else? Hampton, like all the other school boards, are having to make major cuts. They're closing schools, they're laying off employees, they're cutting back on programs, class sizes are increasing, just like all the other school districts, but now they need the help, and so they're asking people, well, I don't know if they're asking, but they're asking for a real estate tax hike. It's a $1.04 real estate tax now for every $100, and they want to increase it. What do you think?
The money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in Virginia Beach, the school board has been wrestling with the same issues as you said, and the superintendent recommended cuts, the board recommended different cuts, and now it goes to the city, so it essentially becomes the city council's problem. So I think raising the real estate taxes citywide, you know, some folks who don't have children in the school system may feel like, well, I shouldn't be paying more, but if you look citywide, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with a city making a statement that education is a priority if you live here.
It seems as if they're not asking for a whole lot. I think it's only a couple $1 million they're trying to make up. But it's going to come from somewhere.
Yeah. All right, let us know what you think about that, too. And then we're going to talk about sports. Got to talk about Peyton. Could he be a Washington Redskin?
Let's go there. Yeah, you know, I'm not so sure. Here's the thing. Peyton Manning is surefire Hall of Famer. It was released yesterday by the Indianapolis Colts. He's 36 years old. He's nearing the end of his career. However, he's widely considered one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. And there he is, available. If your football team needs a quarterback, is he your man? Would you take the gamble? He had 4 neck surgeries this past year.
Yeah, which brings us to why the Colts wouldn't. The Colts would not take the gamble.
Well, it's not so much that. I mean, they have the #1 draft pick. He's going to take Andrew Luck, who is a surefire, can't-miss NFL quarterback, and they're going to move on. But Peyton can step right in right now and help your team, and maybe take you to the Super Bowl. But it's a gamble, a huge gamble, because unknown whether or not one hit ends his career or ends him for the season.
Now, but isn't that any player? I mean, couldn't any player have a career-ending injury any given Sunday?
Yes.
Couldn't they?
But with spinal, you know, fusion column, whatever it is, he had his neck redone, basically.
You can't just say someone's had their neck redone. People might think you're talking about a little.
I don't know. All this talk about bounties and knocking guys out of games, and there's your quarterback, the most important figure on the field.
Well, he was seen getting off a private jet in Miami, but he has a house there, so he may not have been talking to the Dolphins, although there's a lot of speculation that that's where he'll be.
There is a lot of great fits for Peyton Manning. Question is he a fit for your team? I'm a Redskins fan. We need a quarterback, but I want a young quarterback. I want a guy named RG3. But that's
RG3.
Okay. Yeah, Robert Griffin III out of Baylor.
Okay.
RG3. That's
RG3. We'll get used to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Topic for another day.
All right. Now it is time to talk about the weather. We're going to invite meteorologist Jeff Edmondson to come over.
More solar flares coming our way.
Yeah, solar flares are coming.
Solar flares.
Yeah.
Come on. The last time solar flares came through, it wrecked my whole week.
Oh, did it really?
I don't know. It was an excuse, man. I try to find excuses for anything. I do something wrong.
It's supposed to disrupt your GPS and your phone, and I mean, why not? I mean, like no homework, solar flares.
Well, 5 years ago I didn't have a GPS, or I had a cell phone, but just a clamshell flip phone, so nothing too significant. But the one thing I remember though was seeing the Northern Lights. Have you ever seen the Northern Lights at all?
Only in pictures.
Yeah, just pictures.
Oh, just pictures. You've never seen them in person?
Listen to Jeff. Oh,
what, you've never been up north?
So you've seen them in person?
You're from Minnesota, man. I mean,
it's incredible. It's just ribbons in the sky. But this is some video right here of the solar flare that happened on Tuesday, actually. Just incredible images taken from the sun just a few days ago. But with this, it already did arrive earlier this morning. About 3-4 hours ago, I saw that arrive into the area. There's a solar wind that comes with it, and it's measured by a few different instruments. So it was kind of cool to see arrive.
Something else Jeff has seen that we have not.
That's right. So the moon says to the sun, pull my fingers. Is that how it goes? Solar flares? We were like making jokes about that. Yeah. The sun passing gas.
Now, when Chris says we,
well, it's called a coronal.
Coronal what?
Coronal mass ejection is the phrase for what's coming towards Earth.
Easy for you to say, Jeff. Coronal mass. Whatever.
Coronal mass injection.
Ejection.
Ejection.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to the forecast for today. Plenty of sunshine outside for this Thursday. we'll see just a few more clouds increase into the afternoon, and also for this evening especially, likely seeing a lot of clouds. Rainfall for tomorrow morning, and then it'll taper off into the afternoon. High of 72 today, 57 tomorrow, 50 on Saturday, and then as we go into Sunday, we'll see temperatures rise back up into the 60s. So that's kind of what we're talking about for today, this question. Now, I'm asking for a distance. The only star in our galaxy is one of the clues, is the sun, so I'll give you that hint. That's all I'm going to give you, though. It's an 8-minute flight. It's also called 1 astronomical unit, and it's been the same for millions of years. So something to ponder for at least a little bit longer here in
What about the only star in our galaxy? Did you mention that, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
My bad.
So
I'm blaming it on the solar flares.
Yeah.
Anything that goes wrong, especially when I kick these reeds. All right, here we go. Today's winner will receive a 4-pack of tickets to the Tidewater Builders Association 2012 Mid-Atlantic Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Virginia Beach Convention Center. I did it without kicking it. How about that, Gary?
Pretty good. You know, we need to invite people to join our conversation, too, at our Facebook page, or also follow us on Twitter at @HR_show if you want to weigh in on those hot topics. All right, it's not quite hot yet in the kitchen, but we are going to get started today with Chef Brent Schmidt from Brent's Restaurant in Hampton, one of the great restaurants taking part in Restaurant Week. Are you excited about Restaurant Week?
Oh, yeah, it's always good.
I'm sure it keeps you incredibly busy, but well worth it.
Oh, yes.
All right, so what are you going to make for us today?
I've got a really lovely oven roasted rockfish that we're going to do with a Creole tomato butter sauce, asparagus, and creamy mascarpone lace polenta.
That sounds like way too much to get done in the time we have, but somehow the chefs, they always pull it off. We're going to get started cooking with Brent from Brent's in just a couple of minutes. Chris?
Still ahead on the Hampton Road Show, looking to change your scenery. We'll talk with the folks from Affinity Realty about why it's a great time to buy or sell a home in Hampton Roads. But first, the folks from Chesapeake Bay Academy are here with some great organizational skills for children.
Producer? She didn't mean to be on camera, but what can you do, Brent? What can you do? All right, we're back with Brent Schmidt. He's the owner of Brent's Restaurant, one of the restaurants taking part in Hampton Restaurant Week. Has it started? Did it start Sunday?
It started Saturday to Saturday, 3rd through the 10th.
So there is still time for folks to take part. Okay, you're making the rockfish, the asparagus, the polenta, but we're starting with that Creole tomato butter.
Yes, we're going to start, get our pan hot, get some butter in there. This is something real simple that anybody can do at home.
Well, I mean, there's not a ton of ingredients here to intimidate people.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it is a classy guy who brings an already opened bottle of wine over. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's just what you need to make the sauce. I'm just teasing you because you've been here more than once. What's in here?
That's our little cayenne pepper to give a little kick for the Creole. And, you know, we've got the, typically, you know, they use a lot of garlic, tomatoes. Like I said, real simple sauce to do.
Okay, let's trade places because I can tell that I'm in your way.
We're just going to get our tomatoes in there and start getting those kind of stewing around a little bit.
Does it matter what kind of tomato you use?
No, just
Whatever's
you could use Romas, you could use Big Boys, you could use
cherry tomatoes?
cherries, anything you wanted, yeah.
Okay.
For this. And basically what we're going to do is kind of let this get going, and then we'll add a little bit of garlic and get that toasted. We'll add some wine, and then we'll kind of let these things cook down, and we'll add a little bit of our spice to give it some heat. So we should be able to taste, you know, with it being few ingredients, you should be able to taste everything in it.
Yeah.
And then
is this going to be just the sauce that kind of goes over everything, or just the fish, or just the...
Oh, it'll go across everything. Yeah.
Okay. We haven't seen you in a little bit. How's it going up there at Brent's?
It's going good. We're staying busy, and you know, the restaurant week, wintertime was really good for us. We're getting back into the on season with the transient boaters coming into the port down there. And
yeah. So if people have not taken part in a restaurant week and they're not sure how it works, do you mind explaining the price points?
We do a $30 3-course dinner. We're doing the rockfish. Right now we're doing lobster tail. I did scallops, fresh scallops last night because I happened to get a hold of those.
Yeah.
But we'll have the lobster on for this weekend with Brussels sprouts and mashed potatoes and garlic butter. We're doing a really yummy applewood smoked bacon wrapped filet mignon with Marchand de Vin and frazzled onions and mashers. And we have our soon-to-be famous bread pudding that we do, and dessert of the day, which typically is some sort of cheesecake or chocolate mousse or something that we had, you know, whatever we make for the day.
So you said 3 courses that include some of those great desserts.
Oh, sure, yeah. We do super salads first choice, and then 3 entrees and then 2 desserts.
Okay, so everybody has 3 entrees to choose from every day.
Oh, sure, yeah.
A different entree every day. All right, so a lot of people do feel like they're not going to have choices if they take part in Restaurant Week, and some people think that's kind of fun. But for folks who do want to have a choice, they can pick from different entrees.
Oh, sure, yeah. And we're showcasing stuff from that we serve all the time too.
Yeah.
To kind of give a deal and kind of give them exposure a little bit. Now we got our tomatoes going. We're just getting a little bit of our garlic in there. Actually, a lot of bit of our garlic.
Is Brent's doing lunch menus for Restaurant Week or just dinner?
We're doing a 2 for $10. We have various items. You can get a grilled cheese and a salad or a soup. There's a few other things that kind of vary throughout the day, kind of what we have on hand.
All right, let's see them for lunch too.
We like to switch it up a little bit and work with the fresh ingredients. Like the rockfish was just caught really, really late last night when I picked it up from my fish guy.
That's great.
And we try to deal on as much local produce and fish and things that we can get our hands on to kind of, you know.
Now, is rockfish still considered in season? Is it?
Yes.
I feel like we've been saying rockfish is in season for a long, long time.
Yeah, well, they're fishing a little bit further out in the bay, almost to the ocean, to where on the inside, the inner parts there. We're just going to add our wine in.
I got you. So the fishermen are we're kind of chasing them as they're trying to get away.
Sure, sure.
So in the beginning of the season, it's like they'll jump in the boat, and now it's like we're having to work a little harder to get them.
And then we're just going to add a little bit of our spice to it. Basically, all we're going to do is let this cook down for a bit.
Okay, so this is going to keep cooking down like the whole time you're working on the other
thing. Well, I'm
thing.
probably going to reduce the liquid and everything by half.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut it off, and when we're ready to plate, we'll cut a little bit of butter into it and roll it up. The butter kind of is going to act as a thickening agent almost, if you will. And actually, if you'd like to take a taste of what we have here.
I thought you wouldn't ask.
It's going to have a little kick to it, but the butter will tone it down some, the heat off of it.
Okay. It's good. And like you said, I mean, you taste everything. You taste every little thing one at a time. Just wait. Just got to wait for it. All right, we're going to get going with the rest of our recipe. We still have a lot to do, but Brent's not nervous, so neither am I. Chris?
All right, we're in the buzz this morning. We just put a few hot topics out there. We're going Hampton real estate taxes. We're talking about Peyton Manning. And, of course, the topic of the day, Governor Bob McDonnell signed legislation yesterday making it law that women seeking an abortion must have an ultrasound. Highly controversial subject. And, of course, we're getting a lot of comments on Facebook. So we're going to share a few of those with you right now. Nina says, I agree. Sherry Brown, hogwash, my body, my rules. Melissa says, most women already feel guilty. Seeing an ultrasound isn't going to take them back out of it. They are aware of what they are doing, and this is just cruel. Haley says, Oklahoma tried to do the same thing. It was ruled unconstitutional. Jesse Ray Eisenpress, I think it's a tragic idea. This is not the 17th century. McDonnell needs to get with the times. A woman's body and mind is her own, not property of legislation. What's next? Put her on the rack. Tough comments there. So let's lighten it up just a little bit. We're talking a little bit of football. Future NFL Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning was released yesterday by the Indianapolis Colts. He is now available. So we want to know what you think. Joyce says, I think Peyton at 90% is better than what the Colts had last year. I would sign him up in a minute. He loves the game and is a dedicated player. Therefore, I will give him 110% as long as he can. I truly hope and pray that he can play at least 2 or 3 more years. Great playing time. He'll be an asset to any team. Joyce Wes, what can we do? Manning all the way. I would take him in a second. All right, so there are a few comments on Peyton Manning, and we're going to just touch on the Hampton real estate question as well. Hampton City Schools are having trouble just like many other schools, so Hampton City Schools want to try to increase the real estate taxes. Jesse Ray says, I should... if I could, we should lower the pay grades of the people who are making up the taxes. And Christine says, no, take it from the Virginia Lottery, which was created to assist schools. Only a small percentage is coming from Lotto. Take it from there. Okay, there are a few things for you. Very highly controversial this morning with Governor Bob McDonnell's decision. We'll share a few more with you in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. Well, we are always, one way or another, getting some great tips about staying organized as a household. But what about the organizational skills for kids, specifically students, that can make learning go much more smoothly? Here now to talk about some of those skills, Dana Bender from Chesapeake Bay Academy, the division director from the Academy's lower school. Dana, thanks for coming on to talk about this today. And people think organization and they think about maybe that messy space of their house and cute little containers and such. But you're talking about our minds today, right, and the young minds of students who could use a little help with the clutter too. So what can they do?
Right. Well, we have a lot of students worldwide, I can start with that, who definitely benefit from organizational skills. It's going to make them successful in all aspects of their life. It helps them to be responsible, accountable, and allows them to have problem-solving skills. So definitely helping them in any form or fashion is important.
And you make a good point too, that this is information that doesn't just benefit the students at CBA, but any student, any person can really take on some of these tips.
Right.
So if you have a child and you're getting feedback from the child's teacher that your child constantly saying, oh, I forgot my book, I don't have my pencil, I don't have the right thing for this lesson, what kind of steps can we put into practice for them?
Definitely, you want to make sure, well, the parent needs to be the advocate for their own child. So they need to make sure that they are communicating on a daily basis, if not weekly basis, for their children, communicate with their teachers. Definitely, kids who have difficulties, maybe learning disabilities or attention deficit, they are going to need all the assistance. They're going to need a structured approach to organization. So, any way you can help them plan their assignment, make sure they've got their materials to take home with them, make sure they're not having all their pencils are all over the place, making sure they have this one unified place to have all of their supplies.
It sounds like you should have that at home too.
Yes.
If there's like a big basket or a bin where it's like every day your backpack and things go here.
Right. Giving them a routine. They definitely need that direct, systematic approach. Students who have these learning disabilities or attention deficits, they may not be able to remember a lot of details and then implement those details in the future. So just giving them all the tools that they can is important.
Tell me about the difference this makes, because sometimes if folks do not have the proper awareness of some of the challenges that you're talking about, there could be a reflex to try and discipline this out of a child, or they think a child doesn't care.
Right.
Or just isn't trying hard enough, or just isn't doing their best.
Right.
And that's not true.
Right. They're doing as good as they can do. So they definitely, you need to give them a lot of praise for the little things that they are doing correctly, because they're going to be easily discouraged. So there are some strategies you can do, especially at school. Definitely communicate with the teacher and say, hey, can my child have one big binder with all of their subject areas in that binder? Give them a pocket divider for math, for spelling, for reading.
Yeah.
So that there's one general, one location for their stuff.
Yeah.
Also, a homework planner is really useful. I know some schools, they require it. Our school does for every child that comes to the school. So that allows them to, they bring it to school, they bring it home, it's got all their assignments written down in it. As the parent might kind of oversee the homework and say, hey, cool, you've done that assignment, let's cross it off. And that gives that child kind of like a sense of accomplishment.
And another visual reminder of what needs to still be done.
Right, right. So just, being part of your child's, homework, making sure that there's just that good communication.
All right, and especially with the teacher. If you want more information about organizational skills for children, you can always contact Chesapeake Bay Academy at 497-6200, or if you just have questions about the school, you can also visit online, cba-va.org. Thanks so much.
Great, thank you.
Still ahead, Early Jackson has overcome some pretty tough obstacles in his life. Now he's using those experiences to uplift and motivate others. We'll introduce you to him a little later in today's I Am Hampton Roads. And don't forget our pop quiz today. The winner gets 4 tickets to the Tidewater Builders Association 2012 Mid-Atlantic Home and Garden Show. It's this weekend at the Virginia Beach Convention Center. Just log on to thehamptonroadshow.com. Click that pop quiz button on the top right-hand corner of the screen. Good luck. Welcome back to the Hampton Roadshow. Our live audience today is from Temple Emmanuel in Virginia Beach, and they're here to tell us about some very special seasonal events this weekend and beyond. And we're going to talk to a few members here about all the things that are going on that everybody is invited to attend. We're going to start with Beth Gross. Thanks for being on the Hampton Roadshow today.
Thank you.
So tell me what's happening at Temple Emmanuel.
Well, we have a lot going on. We have a religious school that participates in a lot of different activities. Purim is this weekend. It started last night, and we're having a Purim Carnival Saturday night at 7:30 with a giant inflatable and popcorn and cotton candy and games, and anyone's welcome to come. And we have a Sunday school that from 4 years old to high school age, and we do confirmation class. And every Sunday the kids come, and it's a fun learning experience for the Jewish kids in our area. And anyone is welcome to join us.
Okay.
So,
Thank you very much
You're
for that
welcome.
invitation. I want to
Thank
introduce
you.
you now to Gary Tabakian. Tell me a little bit more about Purim for folks who are not familiar.
Well, Purim is based on the Feast of Esther. It was when the king was persecuting the Jews, and he became married to Esther, who was a Jew. And her uncle Mordecai led a revolt against the vizier Haman, who was trying to destroy the Jews. And we celebrate our freedom, that we were able to overcome the persecution. And we read from the book of Esther during Purim, and every time we hear the name Haman or Haman, we make a very loud booing noise or use a grogger to try to shout out his name.
Can I hear a little sample if I were to say Haman? I love that.
and the kids dress up, and they come in costumes, and it's a fun holiday. So it's like a Halloween for the Jewish kids at this time.
Jewish Halloween.
It's a Jewish Halloween.
Okay. Rabbi David Barnett is here too. Tell me more about what's going on at Temple Emmanuel.
Yes, well, you see the beginnings of my beard. That was from my Moses costume for Purim that we have inaugurated last night. But first and foremost, Carrie, we're really trying to create a sense of warmth and community here. We invite people, both who are Jewish and people who are not Jewish, to come and experience the very exciting, dynamic programming that we have. We have world-class programming, and we want to create an idea that everyone is here a part of a caring, wonderful, creative community. We want to encourage people to come and develop their passions and feel that Jewish life can be very dynamic and exciting. And so our services on Saturday mornings are open to the entire public. They begin at 9:30. Oh, by the way, we're located just very easily to find right next to the beach there between on 25th between Arctic and Baltic. And at the conclusion of services on Saturday, we have a kiddish luncheon, a meal that we serve, and everyone is invited. We have a wonderful caterer. Her name is Sue Adler, and she just does gourmet cooking for us. And we really have ongoing educational programs that we want to encourage people to participate in. Both those who are Jewish to sort of fill in some gaps, and those who may not be Jewish. I teach an introduction to Judaism class that's open to people. So we really want to create a sense of vibrancy and community here, and the entire public is certainly invited to come and join us.
Sure, and it sounds like lots of opportunities to make the temple the center of the community as it was intended.
Exactly, and we also have world-class programming that Beth has worked on, and Gary very much, to bring entertainment, people of scholarship, a wonderful wide diversity of programming that's really equivalent to a synagogue about 10 times our size.
All right, well, good for you for being small but making a huge difference there at the oceanfront. Sounds like the carnival is the perfect time for folks to learn more about Temple Emmanuel. You can call 428-2591 for more information and tickets. Again, 424 25th Street in Virginia Beach. We'll put all of this information at thehamptonroadshow.com and link you to templeatthebeach.org. Thanks so much, everybody.
Still ahead on the Hampton Roads Show, thinking about buying or selling a home. The folks from Affinity Realty in Chesapeake will tell us why now is a good time to explore your real estate options.
In his early years, life wasn't easy for Early Jackson, but with lots of determination and perseverance, he turned his struggles into a life lesson that's now helping others see their own success. Ariane Aramburo has the story of how he's now motivating and inspiring other people on this week's I Am Hampton Roads.
Like many things in life, I got into coaching and transition specialist through my own troubles and some things that had gone on in my life. And it was out of some pain that I found some passion. And I learned that, you know what, assisting others and empowering others was a great way to not only give back to the community, but to empower myself and really get my head straight and get myself going in the right direction. Often when someone brings me in, they're bringing me in with an agenda set up already. I love the times when they come in and say, you know what, freestyle, just come in and empower us, because then I can kind of take some of my personal experiences, some of the things that have happened in my life, and really lay them out for people. I think people learn best when their stories attached to principles. I've messed up. I love to tell audiences that there's life after failure. Like everyone else, I've tried a lot of different things and I've failed at a lot of things. And I think that it's through our failures and our pains that they actually prepare us for the success that we should have. One of my favorite quotes is Thomas Edison when he said, "I haven't failed 10,000 times. I've just learned 10,000 ways that don't work for me." I've learned that there's a lot of resilience in every one of us. We tend to travel the road less traveled because it's easiest. And it's through, as I said, through going through hard times, we really find out what's in us. I don't think it's so much the great times that identify who we are, it's how we manage and master the hard times that we go through. I talk very candid about my failures. I talk very candidly about my family life, about some of the struggles I had early on, growing up in a home without a father and having earlier drug addictions in my life before I joined the military. So I'm very open about those things, because when you've risen above it and you can walk in a great next level kind of chapter of your life, there's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, you want to just lay it all out and say, hey, no matter where you've been, from the top of the mountain to the valley, there is hope and there's a way out. It wasn't something I just decided on one day. It was a series of events that reminded me that I was greater than the sum total of my challenges. I think people change when they realize they can change. I think that one seed of hope that someone takes and gives to someone that says, hey, I know what you're dealing with, but there's something better for you and I know you can do it, that sparks, people live up to the expectations that are put on them. And I just had good people around me that said, hey, you're better than this, you got to get up. And I found the resilience and was able to do that. It's very humbling. It's not something that I can take a whole lot of credit for, because all I'm doing in my content is I'm sharing where I was. I found out that people don't need help as much as they need empowerment. The difference is help pretty much, it gives the connotation of deficiency. It says you are not good as. But empowerment says you're great already. I'm just going to help you find the light switch and turn it on and let you loose. Everything in life is preparation for the best moment of your life. The best times of your life aren't behind you. You haven't experienced your glory years and your glory days. They're in front of you. And if you use this opportunity to get ready, you'll be in the place that can actually, you can embrace that greatness and walk in it. My biggest goal is to develop centers that have somewhat of an incubator type of opportunity for people to come in to not only get positive words, but to get the hard skills that they need to be successful. So I want to establish centers that give the resume writing opportunities, that give mock interviews, that help people acquire GEDs and other skills that they need to be successful in life. Because it's one thing to want to be successful, it's another thing to have the tools to be successful. My name is Early Jackson, and I am Hampton Roads.
All right, Arion's pretty good at finding those inspirational stories in our area.
Yeah, making a difference. That's good stuff.
If you want to learn more about Early, you can visit his website, www.earlyjacksoncoaching.com.
We'll link that to our website, thehamptonroadshow.com. Early
right.
Jackson, good job.
Somebody else right here who's willing to make a huge difference. Our own Chris Reckling has agreed to get a buzz cut to benefit St. Baldrick's. Their special event is coming up. It's a week from Saturday. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I guess you could say this is addition by subtraction.
We need you to log on to makechrisbald.com. All one word. makechrisbald.com. Help us get to that $25,000 goal, and if we get there, Chris says he will go there, step up and shave his head.
I don't know if I've warmed up to the idea just yet. What about you?
I'm very warm to the idea of you doing that for the kids.
Very warm to the idea.
Absolutely, and we'll warm you up with a hat if need be.
I'm looking for some solidarity from one of my partners here. What do you think? I'm imagining you.
I think it's in my contract that I can't drastically change my appearance like that.
Not in mine.
But you know what? We won't make fun of you too much, because
Okay.
you know, I mean, the whole point is you know, that the children out there and the grown-ups too who lose their hair through chemotherapy, you know, they're going through something and they shouldn't be made fun of either. So we won't make fun of you.
Okay. All right, that's cool. I'm okay with it.
Fingers crossed. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, coming up, we're announcing a big trivia contest for all of you American Idol fans. Stick around. You're going to love this.
But first, we'll head back into the kitchen to get started. On the next phase of our delicious dish with Brent from Brent's in Hampton, we're going to talk more about Hampton Restaurant Week and make it feel like you were there next. All right, we're back in the kitchen now with Brent Schmidt. He's the owner of Brent's Restaurant, taking part in Hampton Restaurant Week. We'll talk about that in a second, but I know right now you need to prep the fish for the oven.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so a little butter.
Well, they say fish swim 3 times in the ocean, and then wine and butter, and that's what we have here. A little salt and pepper. We're just going to throw these in the oven.
Okay. So you saw a little salt and pepper on the fish fillet, white wine and butter.
Oh, yeah. Right on the rockfish. I like to keep it, use a kiss roll, keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm. Remember that? And then, you know, in the meantime, the Creole butter is looking good with the tomatoes. You said we're going to kind of fire that up again at the last second.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get our asparagus. What I've done with the asparagus is we've gone ahead and par grilled it. We toss it in olive oil, a little salt and pepper, par grilled in the grill, and then we stick it in a plastic container with plastic wrap. And as it, basically what we're doing is just getting a char on it.
Yeah.
And as it's cooling down, it continuously cooks. But so it's still, when I reheat it, it's still going to have a nice crunch to it to where it's not going to be all soggy and soft in your mouth. Yeah.
Good trick. Okay, and polenta is kind of one of those mysterious foods, at least for me. What is it? How do you
Polenta
make it
is
exactly?
a corn flour. It's kind of like Italian grits, if you will.
Okay.
And you cook it basically the same way. We're doing a, with this being creamy with the mascarpone cut into it, we do a 4-to-1 ratio with 4 parts liquid to, no, it's 4 parts of, excuse me,
that's all right.
The polenta to 1 part milk.
I'm not that great at math.
Oh, no, that was back right. I did have it right. It's 1 part dry to 4 parts wet.
Okay.
And if we were going to do, like, let's say a polenta cake, we could put it in a pan where we reduce the liquid by, do a 1 to 3. And after the polenta comes up, basically you're just going to put it in. We use milk. Some people use water. Just when the milk starts getting frothy, we'll stir with the polenta in there, a little bit of salt, and it'll come up just like an instant grit will within 5-6 minutes. And then we'll cut the mascarpone into it, and then you can dump it into a sheet tray and kind of put a little cheese or something on top of it as it cools. And then you slide it in the fridge, and when it cools completely, you can take it and cut it into shapes and just reheat it and it holds its form.
Okay, that's neat. All right, so it gives chefs a lot of flexibility for presentation and things like that.
And then we've let our sauce reduce down here, and when the fish is done, we'll go ahead and get some heat back on that and cut some butter into it.
Okay.
And it'll cut a little bit of that spice down because it's gotten a little more enriched with it reduced down like that.
All staying together. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I know we got to wait a couple minutes on the fish, so let's hear from our friends at Affinity Real Estate, and then we'll come back and we'll give it a try. Remind you that Hampton Restaurant Week is on right now. It lasts till the weekend.
Saturday is the last day.
Saturday is the last day, so make sure you go check it out and check out Brent's Restaurant as well at 9 East Queensway in Hampton, 722-1185. They're doing lunch and dinner menus for Restaurant Week in downtownhampton.com.
Well, usually in real estate, it's either a buyer's market or a seller's market, but right now with interest rates at an all-time low, it's a great time to buy or sell. Here now to tell us more is Diana Dixon, owner of Affinity Realty in Chesapeake. Diana, really, is it a good time to buy and sell? I know it's a great time to buy. What about sell?
It's a great time to sell. We're starting to get folks calling in on houses that we haven't had listed, over $1 million, that we haven't seen in a while. And the traffic has been incredible on the internet. We have virtual tours and things, and the buyers are calling. We had one that went under contract. You don't mind me saying in the neighborhood, do you?
Go ahead, in the neighborhood.
You know, over $1 million, and in less than 7 days we had it under contract.
Oh, wow.
Since then, we have maybe 5 prospects in that price range that we haven't seen in a long time, and we're having to call up folks and say, hey, do you want to show your house? Do you want to list your house? We have buyers in this price range. Not only, you know, $199 to $80, but even over $1 million are starting in to purchase as far as buying and selling.
So when you're selling homes at the high end, that means there's a lot more available at the lower end as well, and many in between.
That's right. And now anything in the $349 range is flying and under off the shelf. I mean, it's just incredible. The traffic that we had drastically this weekend. Basically, we probably had over 25 folks into one site, and out of those 25, 9 of them were buyers. And the rates, like I had told you earlier, Chris, you know, being rates at 3.7 with a 30-year fixed, folks can go back to the American dream. And they can create not only assets and income with their house, now they can use it and put away retirement. And then they can also afford for their kids to go to college. And that's really where the American dream needs to come from. And I have never seen the rates at 3.7 in order to you be able to afford a home. And not only that, look for your children's future college and look for your retirement also. And in the last few years, you weren't able to do that. And I think it's great.
You know, it's not just a great time to buy, but it's a great time for first-time home owners. And not only are they getting a first home, but they're also getting a lot of bang for their buck. They can get so much more home right now.
That's incredible. You're exactly right. Whether it's resale, the houses that are on the market and moving, whether they're short sales, bank-owned, or just listed, the prices are starting to come up, and they're affordable. And not only that, it's just, you wouldn't believe it until you got in the car and started driving. Every day we're getting multiple offers, and it's getting a little harder to find. And once that traffic starts changing, that it's harder to find the product, then you know the market's starting to come back in this area.
And that's a great sign when the market comes back for real estate. If you're looking for a new home or you want to sell yours, go to Affinity Realty, ask for Diana. She has a great staff that will help you out and do the right thing for your purchase. Affinity Realty in Chesapeake at 482-4825 or 621-2800, or you can find them online at affinityrealty.us. Diana, great job, and good luck with selling, and I know you're really busy right now.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, time to check in with the Buzz Center. Today, people are weighing in on our hot topic. Should real estate taxes, we were just talking about real estate, should they be raised to help pay for underfunded schools or schools facing a budget deficit? We're also asking, would you pick up Peyton Manning if you had a football team? Would you take a chance on the quarterback just released by the Indianapolis Colts? And we're also talking about the fact that Governor McDonnell went ahead and signed that law that now requires women in Virginia seeking an abortion to have an ultrasound first, with a couple of exceptions there. Supporters of the bill say this is about women's rights and the right to know the exact gestational age of their baby and make an informed and thorough decision. Other women say that this is just a way to try and get women to decide against having an abortion by having that intimate experience of seeing the images. Now, the woman does not have to see the images of the ultrasound, but of course, if you have had children and you've had an ultrasound, it's happening right there in front of you. It's a tricky issue, and a lot of folks are weighing in. Brandon says, I'm still on the fence of life or death abortions, where if the mother has the baby, she could possibly die. It's a sticky subject. Sarah said, should a woman have to deal with a rape and having a child by her rapist? And it is important to note that there is an exception for victims of rape and incest. They would not have to have the ultrasound. No woman would have to see the ultrasound results, but providers would be fined $2,500 for each instance where they did not follow this new law. Wish we had time to get to more comments, but we don't, but keep them coming. We appreciate it when everybody participates here on the Hampton Road Show. Hey, we're kicking off a huge contest today. How would you and a friend like to head out to Los Angeles this May for the finale of American Idol? It's the Fox 43 Finale Flyaway Contest. Here's what you have to do. You have to watch American Idol. You know you're going to watch American Idol. It's tonight at 8 on our sister station, Fox 43. Look for the trivia question, then log on and answer the question at fox43tv.com. The grand prize winner will be selected from eligible entries and announced May 11th during the Fox 43 News at 10. The Fox 43 Finale Flyaway Contest is sponsored by Fox, Fox 43, and the Newport News Williamsburg International Airport. All right.
Hey, come on over. We got a few things to talk about.
Prize.
That is a really good prize. And we're going to do the trivia answer in just a second, but I have a little bit of a correction to make. Affinity Realty in Chesapeake. Call them at 482-4823 or 621-2800. I got one of my numbers mixed up, but Affinity Realty doing a good job.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, for that question, too, just want to remind you of those clues. It's an 8-minute flight for the speed of light, and it's one astronomical unit. It's been the same for millions of years, and it's the only star in our solar system. That's a correction. I said galaxy earlier. It's a solar system. Galaxy, there's millions of stars in our galaxy in the Milky Way. Anyway, though, for that answer, it's 93 million miles from the distance to the Earth from the Sun, and that's where that energy is coming from today for that solar storm.
Now, we both have the answer, so you're supposed to say, Chris Terry, what do you think?
Man, just took the fun out of it.
I don't know about you, but I mean, I had it like right away. Who doesn't know that? You know what I mean? Such a gimme. My gosh.
Well, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. You never know.
Yeah, somebody out there.
Stump us, man. Come on, give us something difficult.
Somebody out there really did bust out the calculator and figure that out.
Really?
And, yep, so they're going to get our...
Hey, let's go into the kitchen and try some meal. We'll be right back.
over in the kitchen. Poor Brent Schmidt Ross standing over with our fork. He's laying up that delicious rockfish.
I've
Don't
had
forget,
rockfish before too.
have you?
No, never
Never?
have. Yeah.
Well, thank goodness there's something Jeff hasn't done, right, Rex?
That's amazing.
I've seen the solar flares.
I know.
I have a jacket with 14 pockets. Was yesterday.
16 pockets. Get it right. 16.
You're going to
Sweet
love
16.
it. You're going to love it, especially the way Brent cooked it up. Brent will cook it up this way for you during Hampton Restaurant Week.
Great.
It continues through Saturday, lunch and dinner. Brent is on Queen Street in Hampton, so check it out. We're going to try the Creole tomato butter, the polenta, the rockfish, the asparagus. Thanks to all of our guests on the Hampton Roadshow today. Everything you saw today will be available online at thehamptonroadshow.com.
That's right. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Live Music Friday.
Thumbs up.
Take care. Have a great day.